Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tilton Talk Show 2023. Our 13th year doing this. It must be crazy. Absolutely crazy. No Nick at the moment. He's having trouble logging on. Hopefully he'll join us during the show. Welcome to Alan Watton.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. I have an announcement before we go any further.
You're not pregnant?
Next year, January the 8th, will be a bank holiday and be known as the Feast of Stevenage.
Oh. Feast of Stevenage.
I should have had the applause ready then, shouldn't I?
Any particular reason, Alan? I don't quite get it.
I wouldn't like to, it would be unfair to my fellow Brummies to reveal the source of that.
It's also a good evening to Mark Adams.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see everybody again. Nice to be here again for another year.
And the one and only Jeremy Clarkson.
Hey, easy. But did you know this is most definitely the best show in the world?
Right, okay, then I'll take your word for it. That might all change. Nick's coming on.
So let's wrap up quickly.
Let's wrap up quickly.
I'm only joking.
So yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. Was it a good Christmas for Birmingham City? No, we bloody wasn't. I'm allowed to say bloody.
Yeah, why not? We mean to go on.
Yeah, Craig, your assumption of what happened.
Firstly, festive period's never been one that has stood out in terms of Birmingham and their seasons. So going into the games, Burnley, it's fair to say they are by far the best team in the league. Tore us to shreds, and it was boys versus men. We just didn't turn up on the day. Didn't deserve it to be down within 60 seconds. You don't deserve to come back from anywhere with that. We go into the other games. Well, very disappointing home game. Disappointing that we couldn't get a result, and again didn't turn up. Frustrations then started showing in the grounds, and I think it's fair to say actually afterwards as well there was awful lot of negativity, which we haven't seen for a while. And then New Year, same again. I mean, we were demolished by, for me, I've got to say, mediocre Middlesbrough team. The first 20-25 minutes didn't really show me too much in terms of, they're going to walk into the playoffs and be an absolute storm of a team. And nor to me did they kind of deserve, top half, really, in terms of, top six, shall we say. But again, comes down to the fact that we're sitting on a wafer-thin squad, and nothing's going to change until we see investment in the team, stronger players to allow us to have a bench. But, it's not very often that you will hear Birmingham fans say, and I'll be the first one to say I slated him at one point, but boy, have we missed Harley Dean. And Scott Hogan, not just his goals, but his work off the ball, we have really missed. So, blessing for me was actually the cancellation on Saturday. I was pleased in a way.
Our best result over Christmas.
Exactly, yeah. And I could see us going down there and being a banana skin. I really could. So no, onwards now. We press forward to Bristol at the weekend. Got some, a new face through the door, and welcome Kevin. I think he's got a point to prove, and hopefully a few more faces over the line in the near future as well.
And welcome to 2023 to the one and only Nick Small.
You're on it.
Greetings, team. How are we?
We're all good.
We're okay, how are you?
Compliments of the season to you all. And to every single one of our listeners and viewers out there. Awfully sorry, having some technical issues with Zoom here. It just keeps saying it's not supported on my browser. It might kick me off after 40 minutes. If it does, I won't be able to come back on, so apologies for that. Okay, so the Christmas season saw no wins out of 9 possible points and a cancelled game, which has now been rescheduled. I think Tuesday the 17th, is it?
17th, yeah.
17th, yeah.
Tuesday the 17th. Well done to Birmingham City Football Club for putting complimentary travel on for everybody that's going back down there. Yeah. And obviously, just go down, make some noise and be safe. That's the main thing. What a horrible, horrible 3 weeks it's been in football. We've lost Pele. We've lost David Gold.
Yeah.
We lost that young lad who was mercilessly murdered.
Crazy.
Ex-Birmingham City youth player. And Gianluca Vialli as well.
Crazy.
Not the way we wanted to start the year off, but, we've got to be bright. How's Alan?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Top man. And Chris Brown, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you very much.
Good. Mr. Fixer?
I'm surviving, Nick. I'm surviving.
Top man. When are you back on Radio West Midlands again?
I was on the other night, actually, and I've been on over the festive
break. I can't get it up.
No.
Unfortunately. And Mark, how are you, buddy?
I'm all right, Nick. How are you? Do you have a nice Christmas?
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I was as sick as a dog earlier. Sick as a dog.
Yeah.
Oh, on the floor. Hopefully the cat will be making her weekly appearance shortly. Don't know where she is. Yeah. Don't know. Right. So there has been some progress on the football stadium, and thank the club again for letting us know what is going on. Nothing is now going to happen until close season, when hopefully they can get an army of people in there and get it sorted out once and for all, and get the place back to how it should be again. It's just really sad to see it, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Great news that Tony Hemmings is getting an awful lot better than he was. Keep up the good work, Tony, and don't worry, Tracy, you keep looking after him every time he rings that little bell, a cup of tea. What did Santa bring you then, Craig?
Oh, well, alcohol, some nice blues.
Has he got license to carry that around in his sleigh?
Well, personally, I was a bit concerned because when I opened the bottle, it was half empty, so I don't know what he'd been doing on the way. But no, Christmas was nice, nice with the family. Bit of relaxation and downtime as well from work, so well needed. But just that period, very strange. I will say, Boxing Day, no football. Hated it. Please, Blues, don't let that happen again.
Yeah.
There's quite a few people been ill apparently as well, so you're not alone. I've had a bit of a chest infection as well for the last.
Sorry, I can't hear much. I'm only on the iPhone today.
I'm just saying, quite a few people have been ill over Christmas. Nick, quite a few people.
That flu bug and COVID and one thing or other's decimated people, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Happy New Year, says Brenda. Anyway, here we go.
Few comments on the shout box as well already. Just saying, and I think actually it's worth putting it out there. Since the investment failed to go through, we've gone into that cloud of negativity again, and that was showing, I think, in the frustration of the fans. For the first time in a very long time, I heard the negative songs around the board. You see the posts around various things around BHSL. And, at the end of the day, they have also made their announcement now that we are not for sale. And we all, I think, agreed with that start off with. It's about investment rather than sale at this present moment. And Mr. Brown, you're in trouble. So it's as we move forwards, I think this is the next step now. It's get the investment into the club. Let's see, push on as much as we can with the squad that we've got at the moment. Let's hope we don't lose people throughout this window. Stop listening to rumours. Rumours are rumours. For me, until something is official out the club, it means absolutely nothing. That includes players, because the more we as fans spread negativity or rumours around the players, that gets to them. That they see that, and instead of being negative, we need to support them through a really, really tough time.
You see, back in our day, Craig, we didn't have the social networks,
That's
so,
right, yeah.
so the players never really got to know what we thought.
No.
What we shouted on a Saturday or a Tuesday night.
That's right. Just had a chalk and slate.
It's over the world in a second, isn't it?
Craig,
Mind you,
sorry, Craig, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
The money that Richardson and Lopez put in, that was to buy shares in the company. Yeah,
Correct.
So they are still shareholders, even though they've pulled out of the purchase.
No, I don't think so.
They're not official shareholders.
No.
The money they put into the club to help us during that period came from other sources, maybe loans, or something of that sort. But I don't think they officially hold shares in the club in any way, shape or form at this present moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating because, I'd love nothing more than that group to be able to reinvigorate where they were, because they have got further than anybody else ever has. It was close. I think you could sense that in the frustration from Paul Richardson. You haven't really heard too much from Maxi Lopez, but what I can say is, if you follow them still on social media, they're still in and around the Midlands. Maxi Lopez was at the Belfry over festive break and stuff like that. So things could be happening in the background. We don't know. We're not going to be privy to it. But again, I'll just go back to it. We need investments. We're not for sale. They announced it at the AGM. We are not for sale. I think the words were at the moment. And questions were posed. Daniel Ivory was there, and another party as well was asking questions in and around it. So we wait and see. But I think, we've probably got, when we look at our squad and we look at who we actually own, and that's the key thing for me. We own some fantastic players now. And yes, we've got 5 loans at this present moment. We'll probably see another one come through the door. Be interesting to see who and how that forms with the squad, because obviously we can only have 5 in the squad any time. But we can only, and again goes back to, you can only spend what you bring into the club. So as fans, as much as there is disappointment, right, we need to be down there to back them. We need to support them as much as we possibly can. Help them get through this rocky period. And, let's get to that magic points where we're not in danger, because, dare I say it, at the moment we carry on with form, we're in with a relegation fight again.
Craig, rocky period's gone on for 11 and a half years.
It's gone on for 11 and a half years.
Well, nearly 12 now.
I don't think it has, Nick. For me, the rocky period really has been the past 3-4 years. I think prior to that, as much as we didn't like what was going on at the club, we were in a period where we were stable. And we might not have been bringing in the money that we necessarily wanted. We couldn't sign the players that we wanted. But that was down to ill spending, which ultimately is still being paid for now. We still have players on the books that were signed during that stupidity and splurge of money that we did. For me, it's about keeping people happy, keeping them in the squad. It's around helping now to take things forward to the next step. I think we've all heard that there was a plan. There was always a 3-year plan. That 3-year plan is next year. That's the way I look at it at the moment. So I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm happy to be shot down, because this, at the end of the day, is my opinion around things. But I think we need stability this year, then see what we can do. But we should be able to get out of that period of really heavy wages and getting players through the door. If we can offload some people, get rid of the £15,000-16,000 a week salaries, that's the equivalent probably of 2 youngsters coming through the door afterwards. So let's go with the flow and see what happens. I trust Craig Gardner to not only pull something out of the bag during this particular window, but I do trust that he's doing the right things to take us forward.
She's arrived.
Let's also be clear that when the clubs say they're not for sale, surely they are for sale. Everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale.
It's got to be for sale at the
Everything's got a
right price. Surely to God.
What was funny though, before, I don't know if anyone noticed, before the whole game, even before a ball was kicked, the players, the body language looked terrible. They looked so flat and on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, and a lot of people were saying that around us. You know, what has gone on? It looks like something's gone on, or something, or they all have bad news or something, because they look so flat.
There was a virus,
really
I think, that went through the training ground. Which
it could be that, Craig. It could be clutching at straws. You know, it could be a combination of things. But it just didn't seem. It didn't seem like a squad are on the up and not, you know, on the playoff place.
It's also amazing. Really there was so many rumours going around. Hogan's gone off. He's sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mind you, the absence of younger Hall that was a strange one, isn't it? Yeah. You know, he's just, when you're scratching around for players because of illness or whatever, where's he been?
I think he will go, and I think Pete Taylor's just said the same thing. I think.
Who's you talking about? Sorry,
Hall.
George Hall. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that we signed this lad Kevin Long. Is it? Yeah. On a permanent deal, albeit for only 5 months. But that suggests to me that they are keeping their loan powder dry. You know, they can't afford another loan. No. And if they do bring one in, then we're going to have to, one of the people who are on loan either have to go or be signed. Hopefully we sign one of them to make the gap for the next loan. But we haven't loaned this chap. We have it in all intents and purposes. We've got him for 5 months. And at the end of that, you know, he's a free agent and he can do what he likes.
And to be honest, Alan, he looks a decent. I mean, again, some people have been really silly about that signing, saying, "Oh, he's not young," you know, and all the rest of it. He's a good, solid player on paper with international experience. So I don't know what more people want, really. They're sort of players.
I want him to be a good, solid player on grass.
But whatever happens, we're only committed to each other for 5 months. And if he wants a decent contract to see out his last couple of years as a footballer, he's going to try his guts off, isn't he? And hopefully he succeeds, and we find ourselves we've got a decent player.
I think it's a good piece of business, actually. You know, Alan, in terms of just that 5-6 months that he signed for, because, like you say, he was out of contract at the end of the season anyhow. That's the reason we class it as a permanent signing to us. He is our player rather than a loan. Right? So that's the first thing. The second one is, if he comes in, proves what he can do, and at the age of 32, he's probably, you know, going to earn himself, I'd say, another 1.5, 2 years contract out the club. And a player that's eager, the player that wants to fight and wants to continue his career, is actually the type of player we want in our team, because they are going to fight for absolutely everything. And his pedigree is good, I agree, Mark. You know, his background's really, really good. He just doesn't... I think he's had the opportunity, really, over the past few seasons to really take a stamp at what he wanted to do and get himself out there. But let's hope he turns it on for Blues. And you know what? I'll take loads of players on a 6-month contract if they're going to come in and fight for their lives.
Of course.
At the end of the day, help us stay in the league and win themselves a contract for next year.
Well, I mean, I had a look at the Burnley sort of forum just to see what they say about him, and they're all like gutted he's gone. They all really rated him. So, you know, it's a decent signing.
I think so. And he's, again, I like big footballers, and he's a big footballer. You know, he's a big unit, and he'll do. You know, that's virtually enough for me. If he can, anything that comes in our box and he heads it away, that's fine. That's what your job is. You know, Roberts has been that for the past 3 or 4 years, but he's not even our first choice now. We finished up with George Friend playing centre half. Now, in the pecking order of centre halves, if they were all fit, he'd be the 5th or 6th choice. And the poor bloke was stuck in, got run ragged, to be fair.
He got roasted,
and we've had to go and buy another one. So that, go and sign another one. So it's worrying. Obviously, there's rumours about Sanderson. How badly injured are Dean and Roberts. What's happened to Gordon? He's disappeared off the face of the earth. Every time he's mentioned, he's a couple of weeks off. Well, he's been a couple of weeks off for 6 months now.
Yeah.
That's not good news, is it? There's a talent that we might never recover from whatever's been wrong with him. So we can't sit and wait for the daisies to grow, can we? We've got to step in and fill that gap. We've done it. Brilliant business.
I agree.
Changing the subject slightly, Dave Ridgway, totally agree with your comment, mate. It's
the Friday nights.
Friday nights, I am also sick and tired of Friday nights, and now to find the Albion game, now moved to a Friday evening.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We've got people that work Monday to Friday. They want their weekends where they can go to football. They can't go.
Yeah.
Season ticket holders who have purchased seats can't go. We've had rail strikes at the same time as a Friday night game. Yeah. We look at when this is penciled in for the Albion, looking likely based on what I've heard that there could be strikes in and around that time again.
Yeah.
It doesn't help us as a club. And whilst I know they get money from the TV revenue, it's about bums on seats. We can't get youngsters interested in the game through watching it on television. They need to be there. They need to be experienced that moment of walking into the stadium. As I saw with quite a few kids over the festive break going to their first games.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely ridiculous. And, we know people from the club listen to the show. So please, just asking, as a season ticket holder, for many years, and for all those other fans that are out there, please try and stop these games. Let's get back to Saturday.
I'm guessing now, Craig, that money talks, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Sky apparently also have it as part of their contract, and I think it's the Sky League, it's Sky TV. They're a powerhouse. Everybody talks about the money in the Premier League. Well, actually, money talks in every league by the sounds of it at the moment. So
it does.
When was the last time we was on this many times? I mean, that's the other question. You look back over the records. We're not on TV that often, really, and Sky just love us at the moment.
Because they're guaranteed goals, aren't they? Just the wrong end.
I hope they don't love us for the wrong reason. They're waiting for a pitch invasion or something. I don't know.
I apologise. I've got an apology to make about a spelling error I made on Facebook yesterday.
Go on.
Good King Wenceslas last looked out on the Feast of Stevenage.
Nick, do you know what? We don't waste our energy on B6,
mate.
I'm actually bored of it all.
I apologise for my grammatical error.
Yes, as much as it was highly amusing.
It was,
It was highly amusing. It was pleasant to see, but
yeah.
The writings. I mean, yes, we all enjoyed that.
Thank you.
But I'm thinking, I hope we don't make the same silly mistakes.
This is why I've kept quiet, because we're gonna get whopped, aren't we? We're going to get mullered.
We need we've only got 13 fit players, to be fair, who are qualified to be, in our first team. Only got 13 at the moment, and we can't leave good players out and put people who shouldn't be in the squad into play, because that's not fair to them. It's not fair to the paying public. Why should we've sold every ticket? They've sold every ticket. When it's played, it'll be a packed house, and we send a team of kids. I mean, I remember going to Portsmouth from here to see Bellingham. Right? I wouldn't have gone otherwise. And because they announced it's Bellingham's debut, and I went down there, got a ticket outside the gate, sat in the Portsmouth stand, and I'm excited. And then they announced our team, and I'm going, well, Bellingham was nearly the oldest in the side, apart from the goalkeeper, and we got absolutely drubbed. Portsmouth put out they sensed the kill. They put out there. They needed to win. They needed to win. They'd lost on the Saturday. They put their best side out and spanked us, right? And that's what we should be doing. At Forest Green, and because we can't turn away good money. That's the other thing. We'll get television rights at Blackburn. I know it's a crap draw, but give it our best shots. We might get a home game at St Andrews on a Saturday afternoon one day.
Too many warm balls in that pot, mate, to be honest with you.
It's too many warm balls.
It's a lot of money, though.
Allegedly,
Sorry, Nick.
Go on.
I was going to say that cup draw was so uninspiring. You're hoping, just for once, let us have Man United or something, or Spurs, trip to Spurs or something. I know we had Man City the other year, but when Blackburn came out, well.
But Man City was played behind closed doors.
That's what I mean, behind closed doors, typical. But that was the most boring tie. But having said that, if we get through, Blackburn have got promotion to go for. It might be a chance for us.
Absolutely.
I'd take a couple of boring wins and that, wouldn't you, to get through?
Yeah, just to scrape it through. Yeah, all of a sudden, in the
confidence, as they say.
Momentum, yes, Craig. Confidence, momentum, all these cliches that they throw around it, but they're not cliches in the sense that we've lost 3 on the bounce. We need to win our next game, whether we play in Wilson's Bakery's third team. It don't matter. We got to win. We need to win. Stop the rot. No matter who we play. Now we're going to be playing Bristol City. Hopefully we can get a slightly better squad out on Saturday than we would have done had we played this game. But then we're going to play them on Tuesday.
We have,
decent record there as well.
We have, yeah. And another sellout away following as well, which is absolutely incredible, really, isn't it?
A few people passing comments on the shout box, and we did mention it briefly at the beginning, but I put a note out there anyhow, and just to revert on it really, but condolences for the loss of David Gold to all of his family. The fans of West Ham, we don't say that very often, but they are a club similar to ourselves that ultimately Mr. Sullivan and the Golds went in and helped to support. And I think David Gold, as a chairman and involvement in our club, was massively, massively involved in our upturn. They brought us arguably some of the best times that I've ever seen them playing in. And yes, whilst there was a cloud over the sail of the club, as they did, he wanted to stay. David Gold had, for me, our club at heart, and he's going to be a sad loss. He was massive for us. I thank him wholeheartedly for everything that he did to bring Premier League football for us, to see some of those players at the club that we never thought we would see, and also arguably some fantastic seasons. Bringing Trevor back, Barry Fry, Steve Bruce. None of this without them. So
like I say, major cup final, League Cup final, trips to Wembley, silverware. I think people forget all that, but
Don't forget the Europe.
Yeah, they'd gone by
then.
My memory of him was in Malaysia. The fans were all. We had a get together, and he organised it in the hotel we were staying in, and he organised this a dinner basically, and he was lovely. He was a fan. He was a fan, and he joined in. Some people ripped it out of him, big time. But he loved it. He was such a nice. He was a gentleman, a real gentleman.
He was.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of meeting him at St Andrews in the boardroom area on one of the games where I'd managed to win some VIP tickets, and what a true gent he was to not just me but to my wife when we were there as well. And he took the time to spend with everybody. David Sullivan, God, if we'd had a bad game, you knew about it because he was up and out the stadium. It didn't matter. Whereas David Gold always took the time to listen to fans, to see how we felt. And, I think it hurt him as much as it hurt us. He was truly a fantastic guy, and be a big loss to football overall, because like I say, he helped save us. He helped to save West Ham, and look where they are now. If only we could have kept them.
What a shame, really, that they were basically they were hounded out, weren't they? Does anybody else think that?
Yeah, I think like you say, Dave, he was such a nice bloke, and he was the more genuine of the three. Dare I say that? He was. He never went hiding. He never went hiding. He'd face people. And it's such a joy. Like I say, just chucking in there. I met him a couple of times, and I remember the one game I went to Chelsea away in the cup. We lost 2-0, and they're having a warm up before the game. Because he always came over at away games. He'd always come over to have a chat. So if you were sat at the front, he'd always come and chat to you. And he came over with his little paper cup of coffee, and he came over slurping his coffee. And he said to me, he goes, "Are you confident today?" I said, "Yeah, a little bit, yeah. It's the cup, anything can happen." And somebody had a shot. It might have been Robbie Blake or someone. It went wide in the warm up, and it almost knocked coffee out of his hand. And he turned around and he says, "Well, I was confident up until now." Just little things like that. It's not funny, but it's just sticks in your head. It's just such a dry sense of humour. So lovely bloke.
Yeah. There's a comment here from Don Kavanagh. Says, after suffering empty grounds during pandemic and clubs telling us how much they miss the fans, why does Blues continually charge 30 quid a ticket for a midweek game or against guff opposition on a Saturday?
Can I be really controversial?
I want you to. That's what it's all about.
Sometimes we do drop the prices to very good levels, and we still can't sell out.
No, can't sell them.
No, we couldn't.
Still cannot sell them.
No.
So they are expensive, but some of the prices have been a tenner and still can't. So what do you do?
I actually think that even if we got a Premier club down here in the next round, I don't think we'd actually sell it.
No, I agree. I think the other thing is the fact, we talk about the pricing and stuff at the club, right? Well, the club announced just before Christmas, after the fans forum, that one of the things they were doing was cracking down on people ensuring that if they're going in on a ticket, they're going in on the right ticket.
Yeah.
But we as a club want to be fair on the pricing. But if we have hundreds of people all turning up, paying £1 to get into the ground, when actually they should be paying £20, for example, and that's the reason we have to go on to charge 30, because we've got to make up the difference. So it's all about as well, the fan power, the fan going in. We are one of the only clubs that signed into the same agreements as other clubs in the Championship around a maximum price for away fans.
Is it 20 is plenty?
That's it. And we don't see that reciprocated in many places, but we do. And, some great support, some great away support has been seen in St Andrews this season. And I think it comes down to that particular reason. Football as an overall is just ridiculously priced.
Yeah.
Bristol the weekend, we're overpriced, but we still sell it out. We've got that fan base, but it's still stupid prices.
The thing is, I think the away games...
the B6 game when Digger scored, that wasn't even sold out. First time I've ever known it not to be sold out on such an occasion.
Yeah. It is a strange one, but I think there's a lot of apathy about at the moment, though, isn't there? And that's the reason why I don't think we'd sell out a top.
I'm guilty of it, Chris. I'm guilty of it. Nothing inspires me to want to go.
Yeah. Bristol City away is £33 for adults. Burnley away was 25 quid, which isn't too bad, is it? I suppose.
No.
Isn't it cheaper in the paddock? Said Sam Mullett. I never go in there. I don't think it's incredibly cheap.
I've been in there for years.
It is cheaper because I know somebody who's a season ticket holder sat behind me, who moved him and his son down into the paddock because it was cheaper. And he's, I don't know what his reason was. It wasn't money. He just thought it was better value. I don't know. But yes, it is cheaper. But I've sat down in that paddock. I wouldn't, if somebody offered me, I rang up and said, I want a ticket for the game. I said, well, we've only got the paddock left. I'd say, thank you, no, but no thanks. I've sat in there.
You're going to upset everybody now. Oh, no.
You can't see the other end of the pitch. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure that not just the paddock, but the Gilmerick end. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. You sit when you come. You sit in the lower part of the Gilmerick, do you?
Either the lower part of the main stand in the corner where the players come out. That couple of times I've been was Gilmerick Upper.
Are you Alan, it's not a great view there, is it?
I think the Olympics brilliant.
I go dizzy. It's all right. Not spring chicken anymore.
No. Yeah. I mean, look at him.
Me.
Where's me choppers?
I think there's a few comments talking around, getting fans back into the ground. Mark Brooks, if I think we had new owners, fans who have stayed away would come back. Totally agree. I think there are a certain group of people that have stayed away. Let's just reiterate, though, could have new owners coming through the door tomorrow, and it doesn't mean we have extra money to spend in the club because we haven't brought the money in the first place. So actually, it's one of those catch-22 scenarios where we don't want to go, but if we want to help the club, we've got to go. And
this sums it up, Craig. Are you ready? Damien Kelly. I've never felt less engaged or connected with the club. Still love them, which is why I'm listening tonight. Thank you very much. But it's so difficult to feel connected under the current regime, which has been taking the Michael out of us for over a decade.
I think the loss of the two lads who were investing. I did start to feel connected. These two people were local, or certainly one of them was, appeared to have the club's interest at heart and did connect as best they could with the fans. And that started to change. But you're right. Once they're gone again, you're thinking, well, we're back to square one, aren't we? Still the ground needs fixing. Still the team isn't strong enough as it should be. Yes, we've got some good players, but we got some ordinary ones as well who need replacing. Too old, too long, whatever. And I understand that. I mean, I watch an awful lot of old football matches on YouTube, and if you watch from about 2014 to the present day, those seats that are now covered with tarpaulin were never full. Never full.
No, you're spot on.
And the Gilmerick was always empty.
Yeah.
A photograph of the Cop Corner, next to nobody in it, halfway through the game. What have you done to our club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big games they were, but you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. No, you're spot on.
The derby matches. But we didn't. I mean,
we didn't sell out for them.
No.
That's right, there was all sorts of problems with how many seats we got to put between the fight and all these cobblers, which we blame them for. They're the ones that set fire to the place and dug up the seats in that quarter final, and we've paid for that ever since. There's a third of that stand which we can never use because of what happened in that. And that's got to change as well. The police, whatever. If it means we've got to treble the number of stewards in the ground, then that's what we'll have to do.
You're right. You look at other grounds where they've basically got a line of stewards and police, and that's it, separated. And I think it does that. It adds to the atmosphere. Come on.
Yeah. They do a derby, don't they? Of course, in that corner. Alan, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why is it, and this is a real serious question, why is it with all your millions of pounds you haven't bought the club? I'm struggling to buy a season ticket now. I don't know about buying a club.
Let's put it another way, Alan. If you did have millions upon millions, would you buy the club?
Absolutely. Of course I would.
I'd buy it, but it would have to be.
Of course I would. And I'd, as David Sullivan once, well, he said the opposite. I'm not spending my kids' inheritance on this football club. Well, I would, and my 2 kids can fly. Bad luck.
Yeah.
I'm putting all my money into this, and I'll die happy. Whatever.
Let's also make note that David Sullivan's kids are multi-millionaires now.
Yeah.
We may even see one soon. Who knows?
That's the heart talking. If I start to think about it with my brain, you think, well, I'm of an age now. If I suddenly had millions, I wouldn't be able to spend it anyway. So I might as well do it. If I was in my 40s and we're looking at it, I think, hang on a minute, no, I don't like what these Chinese people are doing, and I don't know how to deal with them, and they don't know how to deal with me, and the ground's falling down, and etc.
Would you want that headache though? Would you want that headache?
If I it wouldn't be a headache. It wouldn't be a headache. It wouldn't be a headache.
No. Be a labour of love, wouldn't it?
It would be a labour
printed on a wage slip at Birmingham City Football Club. That's a dream come true. It should be. It should be. But again, would I like to go? Yeah, of course, I'd love to go to St Andrews with 32 million quid in my pocket, right? Pocket.
Yeah.
Slap it on the table and say, leave today. There you go. Take it or leave it. Leave today. Go. 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 Sign on that dotted line and go.
And we can only hope that there's somebody on this planet that will be willing to do that. Now, it might not be an individual. It might be a country, let alone an individual. Who knows? But somebody will say. I mean, I still don't get what this American millionaire had bought Wrexham.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
If he wants to get into football, we would be the cheapest. 100 million would be in the Premiership and Europe in the next 5 years. No problem at all. But somebody needs to be convinced of that. And all we've got is a reputation of going down the pan. But I go back 50 years. We were going down.
And Alan, it's having points deducted. It's having off the ground down. Everything about the club seems to me to be completely and utterly rotten. This doesn't. This makes me feel like the Kumar days.
Yes, absolutely.
I hate to say that, Alan. But I don't want to be in this position where I'm saying it, but that's how I feel.
David Sullivan, an astute businessman, looked at this. Look, I can get that for £500,000 quid.
Yeah.
And I could turn it into an £80 million profit.
He did.
Which he did.
He did.
And we got carried with it.
Yeah.
There must be another David Sullivan around.
No, I think they've probably learned the lesson.
The comments on the shout box, are so true, and I'll read out just a few of them here. So Nigel Mann, we're Blues through and through. Let's face it, if we charged a king's ransom, we would still go. The issue is the lack of empathy and, of course, the squeeze on finance at the moment. Couldn't agree more. Steve Portman, the disconnect came from the investment when they pulled out. But it was already feeling deflated because of the World Cup break. That World Cup has not helped.
No.
Knocked us off our stride, it really has.
Yeah.
Lilypad. I don't go to many games for many reasons, but mainly because I can't afford it. But look at, what we can do. Negativity breeds negativity. It brings some positivity back, bring that feeling to take it forwards. I think everybody agrees that we are in a mess.
Right.
If I had the money, would I buy the club?
You're called Mr. Fixer on this show, right?
Yeah.
Birmingham City Football Club is completely and utterly broken. Right? They've taken the burgers away from outside, put in street food. What's all
that's
that
not Blues, Nick. Let's go back to that's not the Blues.
I know. I'm saying the whole scenario, right? The outside of the football stadium is just a filthy, dirty disgrace all the way around it. Yeah, down to Birmingham Council again, right? I'm just frustrated. I
agree with Jason Hughes that the biggest factor in people's lack of going is cost. Because if you're a fan, and we've been through it, we've been through a lot lower times than what we are seeing now. Like Kumar days for me, that was total and utter rock bottom.
Craig. So, here you go. I'm going to give you £500 million tomorrow.
That's very kind of you, Chris. Can I join in?
What are you going to do this weekend?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I would sit there.
I know what he's going to do. He's not
going to think about it.
I'd have a box at Bristol.
Yeah, I'd have a box there, and I'd be. No, I wouldn't want to sit though. This is the thing. I wouldn't want to sit in a box. I'm a fan. I want to be out there with the fans, right? I want to hear what the fans want and work on that. If you're a businessman coming in, like what's happened at Wrexham, and I think what they have done has been fantastic.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've turned Wrexham, not a football club, but they've turned the community. They've got everybody involved, right? We need that at St Andrews as well.
Yeah. We almost had it a few years ago, didn't we?
We did. We were built.
Get it with Davo and what was her name? Fair.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Communication was wonderful. Lovely.
I think things could get back to how they were as well, because there's still some absolute fantastic stuff that the club do.
But unfortunately, it's not the Chinese way.
They are actually more family orientated than I think we all realise. But they've lost their family. Their family are the fans. They've lost the fans. It would take an absolute miracle to get them back. The owners know that it doesn't matter at the moment what they do. They've got to go. You know, they could invest tens of millions of pounds into us as a club, and as fans, we're still not going to be happy because of what's happened over the past years. And what they needed to do now is they need to go, but they need to go with the right people coming through the door. You know, I don't want some half-cuff £1 million man coming in and going, I'll buy you for £1 because I'm just going to get rid of your debts. Not interested in that. I want somebody that's going to come through the door, invest in the club, have the love for the club.
Yeah. So you're looking at really starting at the bottom, getting the basics right. Really,
it's a bit like Stoke up here.
Yeah.
You know, richest owners in the country can't spend a penny.
Yeah. But we definitely need to do something about the ground.
I'm not being funny, right? We all work for different businesses. Now, if the business that I work for put in a gold brake roller because they wanted a gold brake roller tester, then so be it. You can spend what you want in your own business. Surely can't help. Why is football so restricted? Apart from the Manchesters, Chelsea's, Arsenal's, Tottenham's, etc.
I know.
And Sam Mullet, great point there. Do you think if we got promoted, people would come sniffing after us? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
The Chinese would go a click of a finger at that particular point, because with the money that comes in for a promotion, all the debts have gone. They've got nothing to lose, and they would go. The part that's still holding us up is the stock exchange and what's happening in China. That's not going to change until something is done on their side. You know, if we got to a position where they suspended shares, we would struggle as a club, yes, but God, that then also puts us in a position where somebody can come in and buy us at a snip. You know, that's what, for me, at the moment, somebody might be waiting for. Dare I say that word, admin?
Actually, Steve Portman's made a really good point here as well. He said somebody needs to buy BHSL, and that's the only way we're going to crawl out of this.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. We know.
Totally agree.
That's why you don't need a millionaire or a multi-millionaire. You need a multi-billionaire.
Billionaire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Put the questions out to our viewers, all right? Admin, yes or no? At this current stage, would you take admin to get rid of them?
What's the points deduction for that? 9, is it?
10 points.
30.
Up to 30, isn't it?
Oh, come on, it's start again.
It's
start again time.
Hey!
It'll be start again time. There are a lot of fans really can only see that way.
What would admin involve, though? Going into administration? Who puts you into administration? Is it the owners?
The administrators.
Lack of funds.
So what they're saying is let's assume it's like this place here. If I don't pay my bills on time, I'll get evicted.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like that?
No, the administrators stave off bankruptcy basically by putting the club into administration, so it can continue functioning. Right. But basically, it's bankrupt.
It's bankrupt, and whatever's left is then divvied out. I know this from experience because I've had a few companies go bump on me, and after a few years, I'll probably get a tiny percentage of what was owed, and that's in a nutshell what happens.
Yeah,
it's not nice. It's not nice at all. You said is the straw poll. Stephen Gill says no to administration. Ray Hobro says no. Roy Howard says yes. Paul McCarthy says yes. Mark says depends. Steve Portman says no. Admin never. No says Brenda Brown, and Pete Taylor says I'm going no on this one. Tim Faraday says yes to admin. We have to cut the foliage back to grow. So he's basically saying, we need to start again.
But please read that one out from Steve Portman again. And Steve, really, really, really good reply there. There is no guarantee.
There's no guarantee no guarantee of a return after administration.
Yeah. That's the worry, isn't it?
The other question: would you take an owner like what Newcastle have got with all of what happened?
Look what Newcastle have done.
Look at the when those people took over with the way that the consortium ran out of Saudi Arabia, the backlash of their human rights and everything else. But now look at Newcastle, So somebody said to me, if there was a rich Saudi person that wanted to come and buy the Blues, would I accept it? Don't get me wrong. As a father of two girls, I'm married as well. You'd hate to think of what happens to women and different people out in Saudi Arabia. But if they were coming to save my club, I'll back them to the hill.
So starting again, there are a lot of people that don't really understand what it means to go into administration. They think that's going to be the end all of everything. We'll be great. Let's go into administration. Everything will be fantastic. Fine. We'll start again.
But isn't that on the assumption we'll come back?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. This is what people are.
But what you start with, you start with less money and ability to buy anything. You start with a reputation. Right? Would a player want to come and play for your club? You just got into administration? No, of course they wouldn't. No. Not anybody half decent wouldn't, would they?
I agree with you, Craig, regarding Newcastle. I mean, people, you might laugh at this, but I think we have as good a potential as any other club in this country. I really do. The potential there, if somebody with the right, the money, and the foresight.
Also, what about the human rights in China?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pete Taylor has said too much of a risk for administration. At the end of the day, as much as we dislike BSHL, someone, somewhere, is putting the money in to keep us going.
Oh yeah, and it's not a couple of quid; it's millions every week.
Yeah.
Every week they're putting millions in.
When you think about Carson Young being in charge of us, now, is he still in jail? He's probably out now. Human rights, criminal records, whatever. You can't get better than that, can you? The bloke buys your club with stolen money.
After cutting hair.
Cutting hair. And we welcomed him with open arms, and we won the League Cup under him. And then suddenly, boom, everything's gone. And you can look at Portsmouth. Now the great Harry Redknapp, he milked that to death. Then won the FA Cup. Great! In the 4th division 3 years later.
Yeah. He almost milked us to death. Well, he probably did.
He almost milked us to death.
He probably did.
Nigel made a good comment there. He blames Lee Camp for everything.
And Nigel also says, Chris, surely all clubs have potential. No. I don't think all clubs do.
Unless
we have.
I think Ipswich Town are the only town club to have won anything since the war. Everybody, everywhere else, and I include the Wolves now because they're a city.
Yeah.
Every other trophy has been won by a City team.
Well, yeah. What about Luton? They won the League Cup, didn't they, a couple of times?
They did?
Yeah, okay. You found me one.
Sorry, Alan.
Oh, the font has been broken.
A new savant.
Paul McCarthy, agree. Fit and proper person's test does not work.
Of course it doesn't. No.
Totally agree. And off the back of a recent article by the Blues Trust, people haven't seen it, I will repost. But, this fan-led review, which was suggesting an independent group to monitor and control football, for me, is a must. It doesn't just help to stop what's happening to us, happening to other clubs, but we've also got the situation where grassroots, lower league teams cannot compete, cannot bring themselves up because the money is not equally balanced. We had that regulator and that independent people in place, these things would stop. The immediate thing, the fit and proper, that goes out the window, because once you've got a regulator in place, they have to abide. And it's just a shame that we've got to the situation where we have at the moment, where it's on the back burner with the government. It's going to stay on the back burner. I can't see it coming forwards, but we need to continue to lobby people for this, to get it heard. And yeah, if we can get that, we can be used as an example. We've put so much into that fan-based review already that you could Birmingham City leading the way. How to get rid of your owners, how to get the right people through the door, how to get balance.
Difficult one.
It's a mess, isn't it? It's a shame.
And you know what we should be talking about,
ladies
and gents, girls and boys? We should be talking about 3 wins on the bounce, being right up there in the playoffs. But you know what? We're not.
No, but can I add some positivity?
Yeah.
Birmingham ladies, well done. Fantastic result in the
4-0,
FA Cup. 4-0 result yesterday against the team that have been playing very well and had a decent unbeaten record coming into it. Darren has made also a couple of great signings over the past couple of days, especially the latest one through the door, because she is Birmingham through and through. So it's superb to see the people coming back. Now the push to get ourselves back into that Women's Super League. And, if you can't get down to the Blues men's games because costs are tight, come and support the women. It's Sundays down at St Andrews. Yes, it's the main stand, but for some games are a £5, some are £1 for the kids, £7 if not. I think it's the maximum. Get there, support them, and let's back Darren and his team to get them promoted.
Very well said. Mark, I've got a question for you now. Can we have a 3-week Hannibal review from Nigel Mann?
3-week Hannibal review.
Oh yes, biggie. It's a biggie.
Just to challenge you, Mark, we want you to add together the scores you would have given him and give us a total score, and can't count your fingers, all right?
Crikey, you have to use Pythagoras' theorem for that, yeah.
If it was me, mate, you wouldn't need your fingers. You've been all for the last 3 weeks.
I think he has. I think I might give it 3 4s. That's 12 out of 30. Because I think he's been really off the ball, off the pace. He's just gone back to our.
Well, if you're brutal honesty, mate, I promise you.
No, he's booked all 3 games.
I think he has, because
he's been had to bring him off. Yeah, keep him from getting sent off. It's one of the things that I've noticed in those 3 games, that our 3 big guns, him, Bielik, and Chung, have not produced since. Obviously, Chung didn't go to the World Cup. The other 2 did. Since they've come back from there, they've not been at the races. I mean, Bielik was at fault for all 3 goals. I know people could have covered for him, but he gave the ball away 3 times. The first one should have been a foul, but he didn't give the best effort to keep the ball. He just got knocked over, and I'm thinking that's a bit worrying. And same with Hannibal. Really, he's not produced.
It's almost like, sorry, Alan. It's almost like the heads have been turned by maybe talking to the rest of the squads at the World Cup.
More than like. More than
they even keep interested.
Who are you playing for? Birmingham City. I'm playing for Monaco. You know, I get £3 million a day. What are you on? Oh, 1,500 a week. What? You know.
You know, who knows what they've been talking to the rest of the squad. You just don't know. I mean, they do look disinterested at the minute. It's a shame, but I wouldn't. I'd be surprised if Hannibal's here next year.
Yeah.
You know what? We can't. The scary thing is, though, we're not in a position. We're not strong enough to actually say, "Hey guys, you're not pulling your weight. Let's drop you for a bit," because we can't do it.
Nobody to come in.
I'm that point.
It's huge, isn't it?
Some scathing comments, and for me, terrible comments for JJ. Right? That kid is learning his trade still. He is still young. Yeah, he's not going to come onto a field and set it on fire. He's not the biggest of players in terms of muscularity, so he is going to get bossed around every so often. But I'll go back to last season when actually in some of the games without him, we'd have gone. So we need to give him a chance. And in fact, I think he's earned to running the team at the moment. And I would upset a few people here, but Hannibal, I agree. Do you know what? I'd drop Hannibal and I'd give JJ a bit of a run.
Yeah, I like JJ's style. You know what? Even when he stood on the sidelines coming on as a substitute, you could see it in his face. He wants it. He wants, and I don't care. You know, the haters can mock, the haters can do what they want to do. But I think that young lad, and he's a young lad,
very young lad.
Get behind the man. You know, give him everything you possibly can. And Hannibal, when he comes up to the crowd, come on. Like, you know, he's obviously on that pitch, not feeling what's going on in the stands. Yeah? Because you should never need to encourage your fans to shout up and one thing and all that. Anyway, Chong's hair discussed because I can't recognise him on the pitch.
He's not really off. Yeah. So,
I've got a theory about players that spend hundreds of pounds on their hair. When that big muddy yellow ball comes flying into the box and you've spent 300 nicker having your hair done, you're going to head that ball.
Alan.
So, buddy.
A barber made an awful lot of money to buy us, right? £300 a haircut, 12 a day. I don't know how long it would take to make 82 million.
Yeah.
A lot of love for Jonathan Lako.
Yes,
on the board at the moment, and you know, go back a few months. I don't think anybody would have said that, but I will say when he came onto the pitch against Borough, then it did make a difference. Mine
was his Chong looked like something from GTA. Bless him.
He's got a lot to prove, hasn't he?
And I think there's another player that he's linked with a move away. He's linked with this move up into Scotland. Well, do you know what? Give him his chance. I don't think we haven't got a player at the club. As a fan, I'll say it. We haven't got a player at the club that's ever going to set us worlds apart.
Carson Suzanne's. I'm sorry, I really am. That was really important.
What we've got to do is not get on their backs if they are playing. We've got to give them the chance. Got to back them and see what they can do. Give Lico a bit of a run. Hey, he's got the pace. Do you know? And he's a player that for me will thrive on confidence.
To be honest, Craig, I'm surprised he's still there for one. And secondly, after the whole game,
no one wants him.
I'd have started him against Borough.
I agree, Mark. I was very surprised not to see him starting.
Yeah, and possibly drop Chong. I don't know what Chong's position was against Hull. He's just like a passenger.
Yeah.
Well, against Hull comes to something when we can say our closest opportunity on goal was when our goalkeeper just put it wide. I mean, that's scary for any of us to say. But God, that was the situation we were in.
Yeah.
Ray's just said we had some of our better results when JJ was on the pitch and Hannibal was on the bench. Chong would make way for Hannibal, says Ray Habro. And get well soon, Ray. I know you've been ill, but he's getting there. He's getting there.
Dedicated to Ray Hobro tonight, the Ray Hobro show. Yeah. We've got a Ray Hobro stand, the Ray Hobro main stand. This is the Ray Hobro show. Ray, I can guarantee you.
I think Ray is our longest. I think Ray is our longest standing listener. Nick, do you reckon?
Has he ever?
I think so.
Hang on. Because he's always said that I earn £3 for a pint. Yeah. Right? And has he ever paid to listen to this show in 11 and a half years?
Exactly.
No. Simple answer to that. Ray, you're tight. Ray Hobro, we all love you, mate.
We love Ray Hobro.
All the best in your treatment and all that. And you know full well every single body is with you. Everybody.
Oh, God,
just an update on the fundraising from over Christmas as well. So apologies to everybody because I haven't come out with the final figures. However, we did raise just shy of £400 to be split across the two charities. So, thank you to everybody that's been involved. I also had a really kind offer just after, funny enough, the raffle had taken place for some more prizes. So what we're actually going to be doing is looking at some more charity events coming up and some more opportunities. So, keep an eye out on those. We want to support as many people as we can. And also, let's not forget, we still have tickets. We have tickets for every game for the rest of this season. To give away 4 tickets for those that we want you to nominate. People who deserve it for what they do as a job, or perhaps because they've come upon hard times. Let's help to make maybe some people's lives a little bit easier, but also let's make some kids' days. We've already done it with one of our listeners where their children went to their first games. Not just that, we arranged for them to be flag bearers. We want to do the same again. We're a family, so let's help each other. So
we are, Craig, and ladies and gentlemen, please listen to this, and this is the most vitally important part. Even I don't know who is nominated, right? I don't want to know, neither does Mark, neither does Alan.
No, it's a personal
neither
thing.
Chris. Craig is the one that coordinates this and decides who the benefactor of those tickets is. Now, we will keep it like that because of A, data protection, B, all the child protection rules and everything else, and also the fact that we're a family.
And Nigel, man, I'm sorry, but I can't accept the nomination. He's asked whether Hannibal can have tickets so that he just turns up.
Oh dear,
man, it's down for the comment of the night, I promise you.
It looks like you live, Nigel. Mark, it looks like your earliest assumption of Hannibal is probably going to come true then.
You know what?
And we all laughed at you.
Oh no.
The Manchester United people do an analysis of every game he plays, and it's always Hannibal this, Hannibal. Now, fair enough, before the World Cup, I agreed with them, but they're still saying he's, they'll show you every touch he's had in a certain game and tell you that he was brilliant again. Now, he hasn't been, not since he come back from the World Cup, he hasn't been. And that enthusiastic, terracing around Robbie Savage style. He stopped doing that. I know he's getting booked all the time. Probably they've reined him in a bit, but that dash and that get up and get at him has wavered, and it has with Chong as well. I haven't seen him like he did last season run from the halfway line, chasing a winger back and take the ball off him. He watches them now.
Against Bielik as well, perhaps, since he's come back from the World Cup.
Certainly, he's not produced since then.
Is the World Cup causing clubs like ours big issues? Huh?
I think so, Nick. I think you're right, and I think, like I said a minute ago, I think genuinely, people have spoken to them and said, "Oh, why don't you try? This club? Why don't you come here?" And they've had their heads turned. That's the impression, anyway.
Bielik's motivation has now gone. He wanted to prove himself good enough for the World Cup, and he did.
And he did.
And he did well when he got there. Now, What's the motivation? I mean, he could go back to Derby if he wanted to, or
I don't want to upset him. My son cuts his hair. You know what I mean? So, my son's a barber. He'll bother Blues. Hey,
we only seem to do well in games when Colin and Longhello get forward and overlap, says Ray. Lily says, Mark Andrew Adams, you're going to have to work your magic on Hannibal. Let him wear your robe. Get him worked up. I don't know what she means by that. That's scary, isn't it?
Does she mean threatening with the robe?
I don't know. I don't know if that's sexual or what.
Because I think that's probably what it is.
Oh, right. Okay.
The Longhello is another one that hasn't done much. He's been exposed 2 or 3 times, and he ain't getting forward. We can forgive him if he goes on foraging runs and puts great crosses in. Been doing that since Christmas, and that first Burnley goal. Goodness me, where was he? Him and Hannibal were turned inside out for that first goal, and again in the other 2 matches he was. Was he not receiving enough support? It's difficult to say, but that left hand side, and don't get me started on our previous half a dozen left backs have all been run ragged from time to time. He's suddenly gone into that category where I was really impressed with him. He was defending well and he was getting forward well. Again, now perhaps people have found him out. Who knows? But
who knows?
We're talking our key players now who are not producing.
Yeah, Bacuna. What's happening? What's
Bacuna?
happening?
Oh well, yeah.
He was the saviour. He was the saviour.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like going back to the Hull game. A team like Hull, we thought, maybe they put 10 men behind the ball, not much space. Bacuna had space to do something. Yeah. And he did absolutely nothing.
I'm still waiting. We're 25 games into the season, and I'm still waiting for Bacuna to take a free kick, which is on target. I mean, I may say on target within 6 foot of the posts. I mean, he's not stretched the keeper once.
The Robert Strowings, isn't it? I think we scored one off all of them.
Yeah.
No disrespect. Get it in there. We want it in there.
There should be 2 or 3 of them. We've got the Chongs, we've got the Hannibals, etc. They all, they should be rotating. We know what's going to, the goalkeeper doesn't even have to put his crisps down, does he? I'll go and fetch the ball in a minute out the stand.
Paul McCarthy, we said it earlier. We don't realise until now how much we're missing Dean. Totally agree. And
okay.
Sorry, Nick, just to finish off, Chong, right? Yeah, he's not playing the best, right? But do you know what we said? And when he scored his first goal, we thought he'd go on an absolute flyer and be heads and tails ahead. He's actually gone backwards. He scored a goal, and he's been worse since. So perhaps we need to go back to the Chong not scoring instead. So, Nick, over to yourself, because I know what you're going to say.
We're into the last 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and as it's rather topical tonight, and this is something we've spoken about quite extensively on the show this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anything to do with football and a barbershop. Football and a barbershop. Off you go.
That wasn't the one that was in rehearsal.
No, I was going to say, we're in practice. However, we can reuse Paul's suggestion on this one, Nick. So, okay. We'll just put out there that Johnny Barnes.
Ah, well done.
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
Sorry, boys. You have to explain that one.
Okay, Gary Baldy.
We've got Gary Baldy.
Yeah.
Gary Baldy.
Paul Brush.
Gal Merrick.
Malcolm Beard.
Oh, yeah. That's...
Dare I say Delhi had a bowler cut?
Dare you?
Oh, that's cleared my chest.
Could have read that one.
Oh no! Lily Pad.
Razor Rudder.
Not my favourite person. I'm sorry, not my favourite person at all.
Nick, have you not got the invite to his meet and greet? We've arranged for you to meet him.
I have got the video of him downstairs here, right? And me talking to him. I will never publish it, not ever. If any of the team want to see that video, I'm quite willing to send it to you. As long as you promise not to publish it.
Okay, but I will.
He was awful, wasn't he, Chris?
He was horrible man.
Horrible man. He was bigger than both of us, which is why we didn't attack him and smash his ears.
He's a huge man, isn't he? He's a huge bloke, isn't he? He's about 6 foot wide.
We've got Mark Brooks and Ray Hobro virtually at the same time came up with short back and handy side.
Winner.
I like it.
Last thing with me.
There's Ollie got a shoulder cut.
Oh my God.
Jelly had a blow and dry. Short back and handy side. A Ricky Chopper.
Wax Colin.
Wax Colin.
Ray's on form tonight. Ray's on form.
Jake thinks that Blue should buy Aaron Collins from Bristol Rovers. I don't know much.
Steve Potter's just said Razor is at the Macadone.
Yeah, he is.
That's when you meet him.
That's when you meet him. Yeah. Anybody know much about Aaron Collins, Bristol Rovers?
No, don't know anything about him at all.
I don't know a lot about him, to be honest.
No. Okay.
I will do in an hour's time. I shall know his shoe size. Let you know.
So, Dom Kavanagh.
That's a good one.
Anything for the Preston North weekend,
sir? Nicky should get that one. Anything for the weekend?
Bob Hatton, Jamie Clipper, Keith Birch.
Just straight over him, no.
Birch Skinhead, Bob Hatton. You can always rely on Pete Taylor, can't you, every week?
Yeah.
Do we think there's any sort of chance of future for Cosgrove? Would you recall him?
I think he might be part of the deal for that lad that's at Plymouth. You know, I think there's no smoke without fire, and
forgive me for
there's a little bit of talk around him already, isn't there?
Yeah. I can't see Cosgrove coming back.
Just as an update, Jake Birmingham has just said he currently has the top assists and he is the top goal scorer in League One.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, cool.
Kieran Dye or Kieran Hairdryer.
Hairdryer.
Jamie Clipper, we've got Spike Newell. Any more? Okay, so on to the next game of the season then. Craig, your predictions?
We always have a good run down at Bristol, so and we're going to turn it round. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win.
2-0 win at Bristol.
It's all right, someone move me bucket.
I think we'll stop the rot with a point. I think it'll be 2-2.
Chair Adams is just coming from Ray. I don't know what are you drinking tonight, Ray? What are you drinking?
Chair Adams.
Alan Shear. Thank you, Helen. Heather Brown just sent 100 stars for the cause. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Quickly,
just going 1-1, 2-0 from Paul McCarthy, 2-1 Blues from Mark Brooks, 2-1 Blues from Linda Magna, 1-1 from Dom Kavanagh, with Bakuna scoring that goal. So, yeah.
Let's hope so, yeah. I'll quickly say thank you to all our people that send the stars as well, because they all donations go to charity. So thank you very much.
Jake Birmingham has gone for Fred Barber.
Which game are we talking about? The next game?
Steve Portman's going 1-3, so he thinks we're going to win 3-1. 2-1 Blues from Dave Twine. Thank you very much for that one. And I'm sure that we'll read a few more out in a few seconds. And Linda Magna also sent 50 stars. Thank you. Bobby Charlton. Bobby.
Bubble.
Bubble Charlton.
Bubble Charlton.
I got one. I only come up with one a week.
Oh, come on. Let's sit down. Let's all sit down. I'm going to just get the popcorn out. Hang on, wait. Go on then.
Crew cut Alexander.
Hey.
Not sure.
Well, at the end of the day, we're all Birmingham City.
Mark, that's low.
Lily Pad wants a 0-6. Chris just says she can see your body.
Oh, no. She's desperate. Oh, sorry about that.
We haven't scored for 3 games, so we're due.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
If we can score 2, we might get a draw.
Howard Lane, trim flowers.
Brilliant.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Oh, dear.
Kenny Sideburns.
Kenny Sideburns.
Yeah, I like that, Pete. Like
Very
that.
good, very
Martin
good.
Ward also sent 50 stars. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Martin.
Mandy is going 1-2 Blues. Please, Birmingham City, give us something nice to talk about next week. Come on.
Yeah.
And can I say, next week onwards, let's get some fans on, right? We want to hear from you if you fancy being on Tilton Talk Show as a guest.
Oh, sorry, Craig. We have got one on next week.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go.
Lee Pad's going for Chair and Doy.
Yeah.
Chair and Doy.
I think Mark Meredith is joining us next week. So
awesome.
Oh, is he?
United States.
Nice one, Mark. Thanks ever so much, buddy.
American friend.
We just don't have anything to. Well, I suppose.
Nigel Mann's won it.
What's he got?
Nick Spaldspot.
Nick Spaldspot. Nigel can rip me one. Next week is Lily Pad's birthday. Happy birthday to you. And it's also Pennywood's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to you for yesterday, Pennywood. And thanks for listening and being part of the Tilton Talk Show.
Oh, can I just say it's my dad's birthday on Saturday, just gone. He was 76, so happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Grandad Robe. Happy birthday to you.
Tell us about your cloth at the back, your big bath towel thingy as well, Mark.
That's
yeah,
the Christmas towel,
that looks brilliant.
That's quite cool, actually.
It's a nice blanket, but I've just shoved it up over the window there.
Yeah, it's good.
Got my name on it.
Mark Adams, though? I mean, shouldn't he say Mr. Rowe?
You can't see the neighbours, or they can't see you.
I'm not a peeping Tom.
Well, it's not what we've heard, but there you go. Looks really good. Looks classy.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I want one. I'm going to get one. Yeah, let me know where you got that
find
from.
out where,
Mark Brooks turned 50 last week. Happy birthday to you, my dear boy.
Actually, Nick, we haven't wished Mr. Proofer his happy birthday
Adam,
today.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Adam Wilkes.
Yeah, happy birthday, Adam.
Right, okay. Watching the Blues game on TV.
Looks like older, doesn't it?
And I'll have to get a little bit closer to the TV because I'm getting a little bit older now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know, because my birthday is on Christmas Day. I don't think I ever mentioned it because I've just had one. And Sharon said to me, "Do you recognise anybody?" And then the camera panned right into Paul Hipkins' face. I said, "Yes, I do."
Watching Kojak.
Oh, bless you. Good luck, Paul, with everything you do. Thanks for all the time that you spent here at the Tilton Talk Show. Everything was appreciated.
He'll be popping on now and again.
You'll never be forgotten.
No.
Who are
you?
Who are you?
I should have had the ooh ready then, shouldn't I?
Mark, can I just wish your father a happy birthday? And as you've turned round and looked at your prize there, you've exposed your bald spot.
I was going to say that.
And I'm suddenly thinking to myself, I'm old enough to be his dad, and he's got a bald spot.
I'm glad you said bald spot.
That for all we know.
Good night, Alan.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, Alan, my ears.
Right, here we go.
It's like an old tennis ball.
Yeah.
I've got a bald spot.
Look at him.
All right on that one.
I'm not old enough to be your dad, Nick. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are.
My dad was Ron. He was 76 on Saturday.
Bless him. Happy birthday, buddy. And keep right on no matter what. We've got Ray Grooming Parlour. I like that one.
What about Keith Curler?
Keith Curler,
Martin Ranger.
No, Lily, I can't say Nicky Butt Plugs.
Brenda wants me to go to singing lessons. Come on, Brenda.
No.
Brenda, I'm really disappointed.
Got another one. Kieran hairdryer.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
I don't get it, but there you go. Well, there we go.
Okay, so the first one of 2023 hasn't been exactly what we wanted, but you know, we had a little along the way, ladies and gents, girls and boys, and we'll be back here next Monday to discuss the Bristol game and anything that may or may not have happened at St Andrews and concerning our wonderful football club. Hot and nasal wax job.
I'm just looking at that one. Yeah.
Rinse and Johnson. Still coming in. I think these probably still come in next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
This has been the Tilton Talk show, sponsored by Boyle Sports, the principal sponsor of Birmingham City Football Club. Sorry I couldn't join you earlier on, ladies and gents, girls and boys, and it didn't chuck me off after the 40 minutes like it said.
No.
I might have just put an extra 50 in the meal. From Mark Adams.
Good evening, everybody. Have a lovely week. And we'll see
it's good night, everybody, not good evening. Good evening is when you
good night. Good night, everybody. Have a good week.
Take two. Take it easy, my mate. See you next. Soon. Alan Watton.
Goodbye, everybody, and Happy New Year. And for goodness' sake, let's get a win.
Please.
And from Chris Brown.
Good evening, and thanks for joining in.
Good night, not good evening.
Oh, good evening. Sorry. Oh, no, we're going to get down to lunch and dinner time thing, aren't we, as well now? And tea. Good night.
I love doing this, I really do. I'm from Craig Courtney.
Good night, everyone. Thank you very much as well. You actually, as listeners, helped us table into the top 100 podcasts in the UK over the festive break. So without you, we don't get there. So thank you to everyone. Have a great week. And here's the 3 points at the weekend.
Craig, we actually got to 37 in the top 100 of the
Ladies
UK.
And gentlemen, thanks for joining us. You've been listening to your Tilton.
We're not rolling the ladies yet.
And Warrington.